driving, passing the occasional wreck and abandoned car, I came across a random shipping container in the middle of the road and decided to stop and take a look. Alright then, Mr. Pipe, let's see what this is all about. I found a handy satchel on one body, slung it over my shoulder. Another one had the key to the container. Excellent, let's go and have a look and see what glorious prizes await us. Well, I got over to the container, unlocked the door, and stepped inside. Ooh, it's so empty in here. Well, that was a bust. Back to the car and on with the journey, I guess. A few more miles passed by, but before too long, I turned down a road that led to a stop sign. Great work, Tony. Nailed it, mate. What that road actually led to was another gas station. Now there might be some good loot here, so after almost driving into a parked van, I put the car in a safe spot and introduced Mr. Pipe to some of the locals. Things didn't go quite according to plan. I dispatched the few closest and checked my wounds. Luckily it was just a scratch and a little bit of bleeding. Sadly I didn't have any bandages to hand, so I grabbed a pair of clean socks between slapping zombies and made a makeshift wound dressing. It wasn't until much later I remembered I had an entire bag of medical supplies in the trunk of the car. But anyway, the wound is dressed, and it was off to have a quick look at that van. Well, the van looks like it's in good condition at first glance. After a quick zombie interlude, it still's looking quite good. But it's locked, that figures. I'll come back to that. For now, it's time to check the gas station for keys, just in case, and any other odds and ends we might find. Nothing too much in the back room, and no keys up front at the register, but I did grab some smokes along the way. Now, there wasn't much else in the rest of the gas station, although I did find a good selection of maps in the magazine rack. So I proceeded to take some time and check them all out. The more knowledge of the roads and towns nearby, the better. Have they got any maps of the local area? Oh, they've got lots of maps. Perfect. That's all the maps looked at. Let's see what we've got. Well, we've added a bit to the route. We know a bit more about the Louisville area. And some of the roads going up to it. That's a good start. And we are just there. We're in Doe Valley. Apparently this region is. I know I need to grab a snack and find somewhere to sleep. There's got to be a chair around here somewhere. Ah, plonkies. Delicious. We'll have one of them. In search of a nice chair to nap in, I walked past a laundromat and to what I thought was some sort of mechanic shop. There were chairs tantalisingly close, but the door was locked. I soon found a way in through a side door, back door, and scoped the place out. No monsters around, so I settled down for some sleep in a backroom chair. The next morning I woke up with a stiff neck and an urge for a cigarette, so I sparked up and had a bit of a mooch around to see what I could find. In the front office, I noticed some money laying on the floor, and that reminded me of something Brie Havati had said to me when I first started working for the family. It don't matter what kind of cheese you like, kid. Everyone's in it for the cheddar. And you know what? She was right. We're all doing this for the money. Or at least we were. If this outbreak has spread beyond Kentucky, will money really be important? Who knows? I pondered this for a while as I walked outside and headed to the county offices just across the way, briefly distracted by a taxi parked in the distance. The offices were largely devoid of life and death, and mostly anything useful as well, though I did manage to snag a few paper clips along the way, which should help with any future picking of locks that I'd be doing. I headed back past the mechanic shop to explore a bit to the east, and found an ambulance and a camper that had collided on a side road. There was a few other vehicles and trailers in the parking lot of whatever this building was. Now the area did seem fairly quiet, so I took care of a lonesome wandering corpse and hopped into the camper. No key in the ignition or the glove box, but what I did find was a map. As I read the note on the map, I realised this camper must have belonged to the Jack twins. Tonya was an alias that we used when we were passing information by mail. Tonya Sit and Sleep. Yes, quality name. Clearly this was an escape plan that they were on their way to deliver to me. I make the pickup from the Louisville Cemetery, then head to West Point and wait for a boat out of town. Excited by this good fortune, I hopped into the back to check for anything else. The TV was still on, so they must have left in a hurry. I swiped a pillow from the bed and settled down for a quick snack while watching a cooking show, because it never hurts to have a bit more knowledge and entertainment. Back outside again and over to that building. Oh, we've got a small trailer down here as well. Let's see if this is in decent condition. Well, it's not the worst. A friend is coming to visit. Say hello to Mr. Pike. That's got some good capacity as well. Ooh, beef jerky, delicious. Won't say no to some of that either. And why is there a trauma bag in the back of this pickup? A bag with a hammer. Won't hurt to have another hammer. I hopped on the bike for a quick bit of fun, bopped a few Zeds, and then had a better look at that van. Okay, let's pick the lock on this door. Keys in here. There's no key. All the lights were flashing. Exciting. Ah, there's no key in there either. Let's have a look in the back. Ooh, that's got a nice lot of space in it, yes. And a spare tyre should we need one. This could be quite the useful van. And let's actually have a look inside. A bit of trash on the floor. A box. Nothing terrible. But this could be useful. Could be very useful. If I can figure out how to get out of here. There we go. see if we can hotwire it. There we go. It was at that point I realised I was getting very tired. So I ran over to a nearby house that I'd seen behind that other building, took care of a few garden zeds, checked the house out, and after a quick spot of bedroom action, it was time to get some rest on the couch. I woke up refreshed from a good nap and went back to the van to get all my gear moved out of the car. Medical bag, gas can, food and tools from the trunk, and then the guns from inside the car. I even popped the Beretta in the van's glove box for good measure. From there I drove around to a gas station to top off the tank. Since there was a little bit more space in the back, I filled the second fuel can up that we had, so we've got plenty of gas for the road. Hopefully that'll be enough to get us where we need to go. The next job on the list was to get that trailer for some added storage space, and then was over the road to see what other stops and businesses there are. Points of interest, if you will. I pulled up between what looked like a pharmacy and a food market and immediately drew a crowd. Not the best of starts, but I took out Mr. Pipe and went to work. Somehow they pushed me back almost to where I'd come from, but with the help of some well-placed bullets and a few wild misses that we don't talk about, it all turned out okay. Though Mr. Pipe is looking a bit worse for wear now. Back to the van, and I had a quick look at the firearms bag. I'd found a box of 5.56 bullets on one of the zombies, and that appeared to be exactly what our rifle needed, so that is definitely a good start. At this point I realised it was about time for a nice nap, so I checked the front door of the pharmacy. Locked. Headed around the back side, and after a brief clearing of the unalive folks, I found the back door was also locked. No more doors and windows on the far side, so it was back to the front and to pick the lock on that door. Good thing I grabbed those extra paper clips though, huh? Once inside, I took a moment to light a cigarette, then popped back outside to grab that medical bag I forgot about earlier. Since we were here, it seemed prudent to stock up on any supplies there might be floating around. I snagged a handy saw from the storeroom and found an entire box of paper clips on the desk in the office next door. Moving through the rooms, I refilled my water bottle and grabbed a quick drink from the sink behind the reception desk. I did snag some more beta blockers, cotton balls and disinfectant wipes from there too. The pharmacy storeroom in the back had been mostly picked clean, as was the treatment room, but I did pick up a few more bits and bobs along the way. By that point, I was begging for a nap, so I settled down in the office for a bit of shut-eye. I woke up a few hours later, still drowsy but unable to sleep. So I took a sleeping pill, waited a moment, and then managed to get a bit more kip in before finally being rested enough to head out again. And out into a damp and rainy morning I went, scoffing the burger and fries I'd had left over from the previous day along the way. A few zombies had congregated around the food mart, so I quietly crept around the back of the van to drop off the medical bag, then moved up to clear the area. A couple of them spotted me and were swiftly dispatched, including one that got distracted by some delicious fruit on the other side of the window. That just left the store clerk trying to get out of the rain and back into the shop, and one that was trying to use an ATM. I rummaged through a nearby car, nothing much of use, but I did grab a small tote bag from the trunk, just in case there were any goodies in the shops. The front doors were locked, so I checked the back side. That was also locked, so I ended up picking that one and went inside. I found a rather out-of-place military-type shovel in the back of what I thought might have been a bakery. That could come in handy. And my sweet tooth did get the better of me, so I grabbed a few donuts to go, sliced up some bread for a quick snack, found some pie, and a box of tea bags. How delightful. We'll take them with us, because you never know. I grabbed some more baked goods and went back to the next store, a butcher's of sorts. No sense in taking the fresh fish, because we'd have to cook it and then store it and it'd probably go bad. Now the last shop was a fresh food market, so I grabbed some lettuce, scoffed a bit of grapefruit, and then it happened. Oh, we've found it. We've hit the jackpot. There's cheese. We are taking the cheese. That's processed cheese, that can stay there. More cheese. Beer cheese, oh, we're having that. We're finding all the good stuff here. Nice bit of butter. Got some milk. Okay, let's see if we can make a sandwich. Delicious cheese. And where's our sandwich? Here it is. Cheese, we're going to add peanut butter to it. Have an exciting cheese and peanut butter sandwich. Oh, that sounds fantastic. I grabbed a few canned goods from the back, then headed back to the bakery for the rest of that bread and a nice nap at the table that was up there. As the evening progressed, the rain got worse, so I popped the food supplies in the van and drove up to the last building in the area. Aha, an army surplus store. That could have some tasty treats inside. Well, the front of the store seemed mostly dedicated to clothing, camping supplies, and an assortment of tools. I did find a few utility-type vests and belts. This might be worth considering later on. I grabbed a large backpack to carry, just in case we found anything useful. And the first thing I found was a rather nice machete, so I grabbed that. Nothing else immediately jumped out at me in the tool aisle, but I found a cache of guns and ammo in the crates up front. Not much weapon-wise I really wanted to take, but I did find some boxes of assorted ammo and a shotgun that could hopefully come in handy for clearing crowds later on. I made my way to the back but found nothing much in the office or the toilet. Then I set to work getting into that locked storage area. That's where all the tasty treats are. Now I stocked up on some more ammo and made a quick run back to the van to drop a bunch of it off. This time I found the light switch, which made the whole process so much easier. Again with the ammunition collecting, some Beretta magazines which could come in handy, and I realised that shotgun I picked up was not in the best condition, so I swapped it out for a better one. A final pass through the boxes and shelves on the way out before I spent some time managing the rapidly filling up van. After a series of unrecorded chair naps and inventory management, the next afternoon rolled around and it was time to pack up and hit the road again. But what I did want to do was take a moment to pump up the tyres before heading out. Both the van and the trailer needed a little bit of air in them, and they should hopefully make the ride a bit smoother. The only thing left now is to hit the road.